All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to overview the Celsius network. If you're new to my channel, click the icon in the upper right-hand corner. Otherwise, I'm just going to get right into it. So this is a top-down view of the Celsius network. A lot of their governance is stuff that's uncertainty, but that's why I leave it yellow because I expect it to potentially change in the future. But this is a top-down view. So we're going to jump right into the summary. What problem does this project currently solve? It brings high yield crypto savings account, which includes gold-backed crypto. The only instance where I know that's the case. Fiat to crypto gateway, which means you could deposit cash from your bank account to purchase cryptos, and low interest on your crypto-backed loans. So you can put your cryptocurrency up as collateral and get cash for items that you would need or paying off debts. One thing to note is that crypto-backed loan is a way for you to cash out your cryptos. If you ever get a large amount of money, you could cash out a certain amount of it, and you'll avoid that massive tax liability that the government puts on for capital gains tax. So that is a legal method. And, I'll explain how that's an interesting financial instrument when I get to further details about the value proposition of the Celsius token. So what problem will this project solve in the future? And is it valuable? Well, it's going to solve, it's going to move the other direction, crypto to fiat, where you can sell your crypto for fiat and go into back into banking. One of the things that they said that they want to do is they want to be a registered bank with all the legal situation set up. And I know recently that banks are allowed to hold crypto now, so I don't see any real barriers to stop Celsius from becoming a full-fledged bank. And this bank you would actually be able to trust. Expansion of available cryptos to earn from, so they're just going to keep on adding those cryptos that you can earn interest on. Their goal, and they've said this countless times, is to bring 100 million people into crypto. It's nice that they have that very clear goal in their mind. They're also going to bring in the roadmap market trading tools. And they also mentioned from like using the proof of stake capabilities of Ethereum or whatever other network they end up using. These propositions are very valuable market opportunities because, that whole 2,000 trillion, 2 quadrillion that exists in the banking system that will be coming to crypto eventually. So there's a lot of banking type things coming in crypto. So does the team have the track record to show that they can deliver? Yes, absolutely, and I'll explain that in the diagram. So I always start off with these mission critical components. Is the token used for services, and do they have a lot of room for growth? They do on both of these things. All right. So I'm going to start with the top down. I do expect this project to perform up to 1 standard deviation. That's the position I expect it to perform. So just a little bit in the green on this one as my expectation. And the reason why is it has an accomplished leader, excellent mission, huge market, and there's likely innovations coming because they're a leader, and you'll understand why when I get to it. The issues that I have with it is it's not self-governed. It's pretty much run by Alex Mishinsky, but he has stated that he's building this thing to last long after himself. So the token's future is not in the code. It's not like a governance token. There's no vote, but I will say yet. And so, we can see where this thing evolves. But I could tell you this guy's very talented. So this project has excellent leadership. And, Apple, for instance, that's a centralized company. But they do have legal obligations to their shareholders, so that's something to say. The token doesn't have that legal kind of tie. But, ultimately, centralization doesn't mean something's not going to make a lot of money. That's the point of me saying that. So I do expect future increase in demand for the token to go up. So let's go with the current niche. the market expected growth. They currently have 150,000 users. Their goal is 100 million. That's a 600x increase. And banking also has about, in America alone, it's 100 trillion. But they're internationally, they're everywhere. Celsius operates everywhere. So they have a lot of room for growth in their current niche. So I'm going to get into this later because it's math oriented. I'll do my chart first, and then if you want to stick around for the math, I'll explain the token scenarios as to why the token is extremely like it has a very good value proposition, and you'll understand the math of why. But for now, I'm just going to highlight that green. And the value of the target market is pretty massive. They want to take out the banks. It's their mission, and they want to bring in that their current niche is the same. So it's the same thing as that future market. All right, let's start with some of the negative stuff. I don't expect there to be a hype just soon because it's been in a I'll get to it. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it is entirely possible. But one of the reasons why is this project's already, everybody's fully aware of it. It's not before its hype stage. It's already it's always, they're always active with their marketing. Alex is always up on YouTube promoting, and back in the day they had ads running too. So I'm already seeing that, and you can see that the evidence of that here. And all the social media stuff. 55,000 following Alex, 83,000 on their Twitter, and 250,000 on $250,000 people on their YouTube. Sorry, my cats are jumping up on counters, so it's distracting me. All right, so let's get here. Oh yeah, one more thing up here. So as far as the availability, it's not on many exchanges. It's in the app. You could buy it pretty easily because if you have the app, you're going to be able to buy the token. And it's on Uniswap. But I will say the reason I put yellow is because it's before it's got any really major listings. And so that could potentially be very bullish if they get listed on some major exchanges. I could see that driving up a significant movement in the price of this, and they probably will get listed. So, and that can mean this stuff will change. You'll get a hype stage. But like we'll see how that they do that. Once again, yes, I've already mentioned what their current niche is in question 1 of the summary. All right. The market cap is 143 million, so it's not really low. Token supply distribution. It's constantly improving because they're buying up the tokens and bring them into the app. They're about 51% circulating. So I would still say not, it's not the best, but it's getting better constantly because the app's constantly buying it. All right, let me go ahead. I did reach the conclusion that I do expect prices, money needed to move the price up to decrease. There's no inflation. After the total supply is released, there won't be any inflation. So like it has several, amount of sell that's locked up, and we'll take a look at that. Like that the cell company owns. It's up 5x in about 5 months. All-time high was about a month ago. It's entirely possible that this project's like halfway through its pump. But yeah, that's why I put red, because it's a 5x 5 months. That's pretty good, even for crypto. But there's a lot of bullish things too, crypto right now. All right, so the tokens on the sell side to decrease. That's one of their core theses and how they operate by bringing Cell into the app. They encourage hodling. So yeah, I mean that's part of their model, and I expect that. I just do expect that to happen, just because of I'm sure some creativity is going to come out of this project, guys, and we'll get there as to why I think you'll see that. So fees that burn the tokens, nope, they don't have that, so it doesn't contribute anything. All right, let's see where I should keep going. All right. So more people using the project, and the project is easy to use. Yes, the project's super easy to use, and yes, I do expect more people to use it. All right. Future awareness to increase. Yes, they're always advertising. Their main goal is 100 million people, so they're gonna figure that out. I can see them bringing in 100 million people globally. They're always marketing, All right, so let's go ahead and what the strongest feature and drawback, I would say. It's a feature and a drawback, but we'll see how it unfolds. But Alex is an extremely accomplished person, and he's doing this. And ultimately, this project right now comes down to you trusting Alex, because he has so much control over this. But he's stated, he's building this thing to outlive him. Okay, so he's the inventor of voice over IP. You ever use Skype or use any service where you're, using the internet to speak with other people? That's the guy you can thank right there. He likes to call Celsius money over IP. He's got 35 patents, so this guy's very technically smart. Obviously, voice over IP is, a huge accomplishment. 35 patents. $1 billion raised, so he's a billionaire. Airplane sold for $700 million. Transit wireless he sold for $1.2 billion. I mean, come on, what a checklist. In the year 2000, he got the Albert Einstein Tech Medal, which is a very prestigious reward. So this guy is extremely accomplished. Okay, and he's all about this project. This is what he's doing. Alex is dedicated to this project and helping people become financially free. So yes, evidence of ability to solve difficult problems. Current team is amazing. He's hiring people. He's a filter for good people. Whenever you have someone like that, he runs this project. He's CEO of this project. So, he's going to be a great filter. He's done this stuff before. Celsius being $150 million market cap, and this guy's made billions, One of those, that's something you'd like to see. That's why I'm reviewing this project. Liquidity pools are the competition. So, but they have additional smart contract risks. I would say Bancor is pretty cool because they have, they reduce a lot of the risks with their, if you check out my Bancor video, you'll see why. They remove some of the semi-permanent risk or what that mechanism that they invented. So I would say Celsius is the best USD crypto-backed earnings option. And I'll explain why. Okay, so current development team's good. Current developer team. All right. So we'll go into the governance. So none of this is relevant because a token isn't used for voting. So you don't see any of these contributions from the token. These are things that potentially contribute to the token. Those who bought in don't have a voice at all right now. But that's part of their mission statement. So let's go over the mission statement so I can show you why I think that's why I would have put red for this. But I think there's a clue in their mission statement that on what their plans are. Legally replace Wall Street. That's a cool target. This isn't exactly their mission statement. If you want to see it, just check out my sources at the bottom of the video. But the main points of their mission statement is to legally replace Wall Street, and establish a consensus-based proof-of-stake approach for borrow, lend, and vouching for each other on their network. and a self-governed solution. So that it looks like they will have a governance structure for this thing after all. But up until now, it's speculation until until the writing's on the wall. But they do have a very good mission. That's a cool mission. So I do expect that to contribute to developer motivation, as well as developer compensation, because it's an actually traded company, centralized entity with paid employees. So the whole employees, developers, and they're all motivated, great company. So yes, I expect all of that to be in a healthy ecosystem for some time to come. All right, so Bank to the Future, that's where they did a recent sales stock, but in the United States, you had to be an accredited investor to access that. So it's a centralized equity company. The shares did not have these shares that they sell do not have voting rights, so that Alex is remaining in control of Celsius, so that he can keep it with those high yields, because no one else does this. No one else gives away 80% of what they make. And if they do, Alex likes to explain that they're either subsidizing, or they're subsidizing that risk with their own funds. All right, so Alex Mashinsky is the governance. He's a brilliant guy with a vision, and so I would never bet against that. Okay, so it's set up to. Yeah, he likes to say it's set up to, in the long run, to outlive him. It's yellow because Alex's mission statement, this project depends on your trust in Alex and those at Celsius until it is no longer centralized. There's no real legal bounding to the cell token, but ultimately, all the things that are accomplished in the world are from human effort, not because someone legally says to do something. That is a factor, definitely. I'm not saying it isn't. But what I am saying is the things that are most powerful in this world happen because someone wants to do them. And so that's what I believe when I do investments. And that's what I see in Alex. He wants to accomplish this thing. So the long-term vision and strategy, all of this stuff I'm just going to leave as yellow until we know what their governance structure is going to look like when it's self-governed ecosystem. Their partnership, Tether did give $10 million and invest in them, the Tether project. And I could expect them to make partnerships in the future with someone like Alex working for this company. Make sure I'm not leaving anything behind. All right. So I do expect values of services to increase because of those employees being motivated. So yes, I do expect their services to increase in value. And this being one of the best options of the competition. I do expect businesses to partake in buying of the token because the utility of the token, and I'm going to get to that in the math later. But yes, because of the utility of the token, I do expect businesses to, if you're a depositor, whether you're a business or a person, small person, it's the same. So yes, I do expect businesses to demand the token. And that's the overview of the whole project. Yep, I hit over everything. And my ultimate expectation about the here on the curve of performance until I know more, until we see more about what they're, likely innovations, like this will turn this bullish easily. That's, this project could be way over here because the guy running it is Alex, so. All right, so like the value prop. Now you can stop here if you don't want to see the math. I'm going to jump into some of the math and then we'll finish out. So the way it works with Celsius is you'll get something like this, a weekly email showing you their updated rates. These change weekly, and they'll also show you their lending rates. So let's go over a value proposition. If you had $1,000 and you wanted to reach their highest tier return, it's a no-brainer. Okay, So that's why I see there is like if you're a user of Cell, it's a no-brainer to buy the Cell, and this is why. So I'm going to run these simulations. They're going to be if Cell was price was running constant. We're going to do a high case scenario with USD backed rate. These USD backed rates right here, and then we're going to do a low case, which is right here, like one of the lowest rates, so you can get an idea. And so, okay, so if you wanted the tier to get into the highest tier of your $1,000 deposit, you'd put 15% to get into the highest tier, and then the rest would just be the rest rate. So you'd be earning this Celsius, you'd be earning this rate on your Celsius, and then whatever rate it is the rest of your deposit. So for the low case, you'd have no Cell. End of year income for $1,000 is $30. Like you just deposit in the app, and you just earn that 3%. And then compared to the Cell use case, where you do buy that Cell, which is a 15% ratio of your total deposit, and end of year income is this $42.36. So you subtract the end of year income from no Cell from the amount that if you do have it, you get this amount, and that divided by the amount of Cell that you had to buy, and that equals the return that you see 8.24% on that cash equivalent of Cell. So yes, there's, buying the Cell, that this little part of your portfolio ends up, this little allocation ends up getting you that much more revenue. And so that ultimately, that's what you put up, that's what you get. And so that means that Cell is, it's almost like I know it's not the legal way to say it, but it's like a dividend. Oh, you're getting an 8.24% dividend. That's pretty nice. And that's the lowest way to look at it. Now for the high case, which is what kind of interest rates are these guys? They're paying 11.55% on stable coins, on dollars, US. They're dollar backed, so you got to trust these entities, but I will be honest, guys, I'm not sponsored by them, but I do use this wallet for my savings account. I use USDC, but I am not sponsored by them. So this review is, transparent. But I do use it because what kind of savings account are you going to get that kind of rate? So if you go with no Cell, end of year income, you'll have this much, $115 for that $1,000. But if you do use the Cell, you're going to have $142.07 for your $1,000. So this will be the difference, and that difference divided by the Cell, that means that Cell's paying you an 18.31% dividend. So it's equivalent to a dividend if Cell remains constant. That's incredibly well. Not, of course, that's only for the 15% of your portfolio, but that does drag your portfolio up. Whenever you see like a little opportunity like that, yeah, it makes 100% under reason to buy the Cell token. If you are depositing in this account, it makes perfect sense to buy the token. All right, but good old US of A, you can't have access to this. Sorry, we're the land of the free. You don't get to access that. And finally, if you're paying off your loans, you get 30% off. And so that's equivalent to a 30% dividend, because even expenses reduced is equivalent to money made. So if you're going to get that loan, here you go. That's pretty nice. And also, if you are going to get a loan, it's almost like free cash, and I'll explain that. The way that works is if you do that 25%, if you have like $100,000, you get that $25,000, and you keep rolling these loans forward with that 1% interest, then the interest rate minus inflation, or the inflation actually, will equal the profit, and that's literally the government paying you on if you buy assets with that money. So that's like free money. But you will be having an opportunity cost lost of the money that you're putting up. So it's not totally free because you're losing out on this, these rates right here. Because when you put that up as collateral, you're not going to be earning that rate. All right, and finally, for the value proposition, you can see that you're seeing a trend here of the amount of Celsius that's showing up in the app. And this is the all-time high that they had. So you can see that the team sold some Celsius management at that all-time high. And then there's 2 more unlocks coming, which is like less than a percentage. So that's not much. That's some tokens that will be unlocked at those $1.50 and $3 price targets. But yeah, we could see a trend here. And a trend here of if this keeps dropping, the Celsius outside of the app keeps dropping, I mean, you could see this price take off. There's a real chance that this thing will just rocket. I'm willing to bet that there's some innovations coming down the line for this project just because of the nature of the guy that's running this. All right, guys, that's my overview. Thanks for watching.